No, no, no. We're gonna get this right. We're gonna do this
Eddie Kingston. He's one of the dirtiest fighters in independent wrestling.
You talk about grinding. You talk about living this rough life, all that jazz. No one's gonna outgrind you, all that stuff. My man, it's easy to say that when you grew up around used to be legends like Arn Anderson. Yeah, you heard me. Keep shooting murder ones at me, and I'll knock your jaw right off your face, partner. You know what I grew up around? You know what I grew up around? Alcoholics, junkies. I grew up around that, and I had to survive. I had to grind. You couldn't last a day in my shoes. So you don't tell me nothing about grinding. You talk about the sport of pro wrestling? That's a joke. Because every person you faced has been a child. I am a grown-ass man, and I will put you in the ground and smile.
Eddie Kingston.
What is
Going
this?
on here with Eddie. We're not expecting to see Eddie at this moment, but nonetheless.
Leave the hard cam on. Don't go to these other cameras, because I'm going to go right to you. I'm going to talk to the people at home. I'm going to talk to all you morons here. If you don't like social media and you don't check it, it's me and Moxley tonight for the World's Championship. I was never eliminated from the Casino Battle Royal. That's why I'm getting this shot. You know what else? 18 years says I deserve this shot. Me and John Moxley used to be cut from the same cloth. But then John sold out, and he went to the land of sports entertainers. I never did. I stayed with the fighters. I stayed with the outlaws, and I didn't sell my soul to the devil. So, before we have our match tonight, before I put you down and become the new world's champion, I want to look into the entertainer's eyes. Where are you, sports entertainer? Where are you, Mox?
Wow, calling out the world champion.
That's a brazen move. And it didn't take long for the challenger to get his answer, because here comes the champion. He's ready. It looks to me like he's ready to fight right now.
And Eddie Kingston is a master at pushing people's buttons. He has successfully raised the ire of the AEW World Champion, John Moxley.
Here come the referees and other officials out here to make sure that this thing doesn't get out of hand.
I wrestled the world's champion, John Moxley, and he put me in the bulldog choke. And guess what I did not do? I did not tap. Rendsburg, I never tapped. You never heard me say I quit. What made you think? What gave you the right? What gave you the balls to ring that bell?
Eddie, you were unresponsive. I know you 18 years, you can't text me, call me all week. You want to bring me out here? You know my wife, my kids, right? Right, we go back. Yeah, okay. So that's our personal life, but here when we're in the ring, that's our professional life. And when you're in a world title match on national television, we're at work. And it's my job to protect you from yourself.
When Eddie Kingston signed a contract with AEW, nobody was happier about it than me, because nobody understands better where Eddie comes from, what he has grinded through for the last 18 years. I loved Eddie Kingston. I keep my circle tight. True friends are hard to come by, and I loved Eddie Kingston's honesty, loyalty, integrity. This is a guy who would never change. Now I don't know this guy. This bitter, miserable, whiny, thinks the world owes him something, thinks I owe him something. I'm not gonna apologize for my success. I'm not gonna apologize for buying my mother a house. I'm not gonna apologize for spending thousands of days on the road, running my body into the ground so I could give my family a better life than I ever had. I'm not gonna apologize. Through all these years, no matter what problems you created for yourself, who always had your back? I was proud to share the ring with you on September 23rd. But the aftermath, I'm embarrassed by you. I never tapped! I never tapped! Okay, I guess you didn't. You didn't. You were too busy blowing snot bubbles and going unconscious, so I guess you didn't tap. So I'm gonna make this real simple for everybody. I'm gonna end this. November 7th at Full Gear, I quit. You're going to verbalize it for the entire world. I'm gonna beat and torture you until I get my friend back or I end you. And now finally, for once when things don't go your way, you'll have nobody else to blame but yourself.
Live here on Dynamite and coming up Saturday night at Full Gear in the main event for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley will defend against this man in an I Quit match in our face-to-face here tonight. Here is Eddie Kingston.
Chris, have you been in many I Quit matches?
I've been in a few, but I never quit. But I'll tell you what, they're very brutal because what kind of a man would ever want to say that I quit in front of thousands, tens of thousands, 100,000 people? Not me.
It's obviously a short language for, I'm going to make you hurt badly enough that you can't stand any more pain. Therefore, you will say, I quit.
Yes, in front of your peers and in front of the world.
Do your job, Shivani. Hold the microphone up.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley.
JR, as you mentioned at the top of the show tonight, there will be no physicality here tonight, or the match won't take place at Full Gear.
Yeah, that's a pretty good decision by TK, as the boys call it, Tony Khan.
Great decision by Tony Khan, but I'll tell you what, the great Pat Patterson told me, why would you want to waste your time on a Wednesday when the match is already signed for Saturday? That's the money. So tonight, they don't want to touch, they're not going to touch, and not only that, they got some words face-to-face to really pound home what's going to happen to each man at Full Gear on Saturday night.
Here comes the champion, the irrepressible Jon Moxley, the battling champion.
He's off his rocker. He's been off his rocker since the day I met him.
He's got a giant championship belt on his shoulder, and on the other shoulder, an even bigger chip.
He sure does, and he got that champion title from me. Seems like 10 years ago. I think about it every day of my life.
Kingston trying to bait Moxley in.
Get out of the ring! Cut his music! Cut his music! Shivani, get out of the ring! You think this is a game, John? You think this is a game? I'm gonna destroy you Saturday. You understand that? On the 7th, I'm gonna ruin you. And I'm gonna take that championship. I'm gonna hand it to my mother. And I'm gonna tell her, Ma, the reason why you don't have a grandchild is because of this. The reason why I didn't give you a daughter-in-law is because of this. Because this is all that matters in our sport. No other championship means that much. Only this championship, and you're holding it. So I gotta take you out. I had to sell out. I had to become everything I hated. It's too late for me, John. You ain't saving nobody. And I'm taking that championship from you.
Kingston's so intense.
So much history between these two men.
They say be careful who you call your friends. Me? I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies, because the longer I'm in this business, the more I learn that loyalty is a bitch. And I have been burned time and again, but I never ever thought I could get burned by you, buddy. Never. I was so happy for you, man. I was so happy for you when you signed the contract. Shut up! I'm trying to tell you.
I don't care!
I'm trying to tell you what's
don't
going
care!
on. I was so happy for you when you signed the contract.
You weren't happy!
I was happy for you. I was happy for your mother, whose dream it was. Yeah, your mother, Ruthie.
Don't you ever
Whose
bring up
kitchen
my
table
mother.
I sat at.
Don't you ever!
Who I said grace with. Who I made a promise to. That I would look after you. That I would always have your back. No matter what trouble you caused for yourself. I made that promise to her. And I guess I broke that promise, didn't I? See, I believe that the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. And you've been real loud lately, Eddie. Why is that? That's not you. You're not weak. So what's going on up here? I think I know what it is. After 18 years, you finally get your shot this Saturday. You get your shot, the shot you never thought you would get. Deep down in your heart, you know. Deep down in your heart, you know you're gonna be in the ring with the AEW World Champion, the best wrestler on this planet right now. And you're gonna lose. So it is a scary thought, I get it. Maybe after 18 years, it turns out you didn't deserve it after all. And the worst part of this, Eddie, the worst part of this, the part of this that makes me sick, that puts my stomach in knots. You made a promise to your mother that you can't keep.
Remember, Kingston can't touch Moxley no matter what he says.
Man, this is heavy.
This is intense.
You're gonna have to kill me. You better get ready.
I got a
You
problem
better
with
get
that.
ready.
You told me
You
I'm
better
wrong.
get ready to kill me. You better get ready to kill me.
Did you hear that?
better get ready.
Better get ready to
You
kill
better
me.
get ready. This is real. This is real. This is real. Do it then.
I'll show you what's real
and what's not. Do it then. I don't care about this show. Do it then. Take me out. Go ahead. You ain't gonna do it. That's mine.
Oh, God.
That's mine.
This Saturday night, Eddie, at Full Gear, you will find when you're alone with nothing but your ego, and that is a lonely, lonely place, you will find that you are not the man you thought you were, and you will say the words, I quit.
Good God, ladies and gentlemen, what intensity. It flowed through these monitors. I was riveted with a conversation between what I would venture to say, perhaps, are two psychos.
It doesn't get much more real than that. Eddie Kingston is an angry man. You talk about a chip on someone's shoulder. He's angry that this is his first chance at a world title in 18 years. He's not going to let that go without the fight of Jon Moxley's life.
And this Friday night,
My love for pro wrestling started as a kid. I couldn't calm down when I was a kid. I was a hyper kid. And my poor, beautiful mother, hey, Ma, she had to calm me down. And the only way she could calm me down was putting in wrestling tapes.
Here's a couple of things I know about Eddie Kingston from talking to him. This may be a surprise to many, but Eddie Kingston's best friend is his mom. She is the person that really, I wouldn't say leads him, but mentors him. He believes in his mom.
And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me driving. Not money, not fame, love.
18 years of grinding in this business, Eddie Kingston has been through the ringer. He's been chewed up and spit out. As bad as anybody I've ever seen. But he had the respect of his peers. And he wants to throw all that away and embrace bitterness. You want anger to be constructive, not destructive. The difference between me and Eddie Kingston is I accept responsibility for my actions. I accept responsibility for my mistakes. I accept responsibility for my shortcomings. Eddie Kingston is always blaming somebody else. He blames somebody else for punching a promoter. He blames somebody else for throwing a temper tantrum, getting himself fired. I've put out a lot of Eddie Kingston fires. I've stood by Eddie Kingston and had his back as he burned down bridge after bridge after bridge.
Jon Moxley has the most dominant fighting spirit in all of pro wrestling. In any federation, any organization, for my money.
I think an I Quit match plays into Eddie Kingston's hands. I really do. You have to understand Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, it's obvious they have a lot in common. They're old friends. Eddie knows Mox really, really well.
He's a tough guy, man. He's used to street fighting. And that's the thing that he can do, is that Eddie Kingston can match fighting, striking, as close as anybody we've got in AEW with Jon Moxley.
I think it's a classic match because of their backgrounds and their careers. So similar. Neither man would quit until he got to the top. And both men are in AEW right now. So I Quit is the perfect match for these two.
No one's got up in Mox's face. See, I enjoy this. I enjoy being put through hell. You wanna know why? Because I believe it's God's way of punishing me for all the things I've done in my life.
You know better than anybody. There is no greater pain that you feel down deep, twisting in your guts. No greater pain than losing a friend. Than watching that friend turn their back on you. Watching that friend change right before your eyes. Listening to that friend talk about how everything that you're proud of in your life, in your career, everything you have earned, through nothing but hard work and sacrifice. Listening to that friend make you feel bad about it, make you feel guilty about it, throw it back in your face.
It's not personal. I just want to beat his ass a little bit for forgetting people like me. Some of us aren't here no more. Some of us has passed away. Because either drugs, alcohol, or because of pro wrestling. Mox forgot those people.
You know, some might think it's a huge underdog story with Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley. I don't think it's underdog. I think it's two guys that kind of came up the same way, and one veered off into the big bright lights, and the other one kind of stayed here. You know, now they're even again.
Until somebody proves to me that they can outfight Jon Moxley, I'm going to go with Moxley without a doubt. I think it's going to be it could be a bloodbath type match because the guys are going to be striking each other. That's Eddie Kingston's way to glory.
What I care about is winning. What I care about is fighting. What I care about is looking at my mother and going, Ma, I'm sorry I didn't give you a grandkid. Ma, I'm sorry I didn't give you a daughter-in-law. That's why I want to tell her sorry. Sorry, but look what I have. Look what I did this for, and it's the AEW World's Heavyweight Championship.
If Eddie Kingston became the AEW World Champion, it would be one of the great stories of wrestling in the last 5 to 10 years, I would think, because of his determination, because of where he came from.
When he's in a situation when he can't escape, he will be all alone. And finally, there will be nobody else to blame. There will be no excuses. There will be no promoter to punch out. There will be no tantrum to throw. There'll be absolutely nothing you can do but accept the fact that you are going to say, I quit. And repent for your actions.
You know what I'm representing? I'm representing every mutt that's out there. I'm representing everybody who said, hey man, you're too fat. Hey man, you got a bad attitude. Hey, you'll never make it. This is for the kid on the street corner on East 237. Just hanging out thinking, man, I gotta get out of this neighborhood. This is for you. And for all the people that don't like it, or for all the people I'm not doing it for, in all honesty, including you, John, you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Full Gear main event is an I Quit match for the AEW World Championship.
rise, now watch me taking flight. You can't contain me, this is it, your time is up. Passion I can't control. You better tread lightly, thunder and lightning live inside my soul. My strength, it only grows. I bring in the rain, get ready for pain, now watch as I explode. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood. Nowhere to go, you're stranded. Now watch me bring the flood. There's no way around it. You know you can't evade it. I got you surrounded. You underestimate it. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood. Ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood. I chase it, create it, born with fire in my bones. I'm fearsome, fearless, bulletproof, invincible. My name in the sky, distance arise, now watch me taking flight. You can't contain me, this is it, your time is up. Passion I can't control. You better tread lightly, thunder and lightning live inside my soul. My strength, it only grows. I bring in the rain, get ready for pain, now watch as I explode. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood. Nowhere to go, you're stranded. Now watch me bring the flood. There's no way around it. You know you can't evade it. I got you surrounded. You underestimate it. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood. Ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. Ready, set, go. Ready, ready, set, go. I've been the last one standing. There's power in my blood.
You made a promise. You made a promise to your mother that you can't keep.
Hey everybody, welcome to Promo Class Wednesday. Eddie, you're up and you're going to cut a promo on this chocolate chip cookie. There you go, buddy.
Do I get a countdown?
3, 2, 1.
It kills me inside that you are so tasty, so delicious, and so sugary, and just everything I want. But in this great sport of pro wrestling that paid me to be able to buy you, I have to look better in the ring. So I can buy more cookies, so you won't be alone. And then when the time is right, it'll be me and you. But only when the time's right.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good. Yeah. You got really emotional there. I thought we were going to get some tears. I thought you were going to cry. I know. And then you can